Hello listeners, and welcome to this week's recording of Boomerang. This is Team 1 tonight, and we're made up of me tonight, George.
And good evening from me, Linda.
And good evening from me, Steve.
And this week's articles are taken as usual with permission from the West Lothian Courier for today, the 21st of February. As usual, the news items will be broken into various parts with a wee gap in the middle, and we will get on with doing that now. And just as we begin, before we have the first article from the Courier this month, I'm going to read a message from Heather Smart, the chairperson of West Lothian Boomerang, and she's got information for you about the annual general meeting of Boomerang. And let me read it to you. The annual general meeting of West Lothian Boomerang, talking newspaper, will be held on Saturday the 8th of March 2025 at 11 a.m. until approximately 1 p.m. in St Joseph's Church Centre, Rayburn Crescent, Whitburn, EH47 8HQ, and you are cordially invited to come along. After the business part of the meeting, there will be refreshments served. Please let Heather Smart know if you can attend by telephoning her on 07707 830634, or you could put a note in your next wallet and return it to the studio. Also, if you need transport, let Heather know and we will try and arrange this if at all possible. Article this evening is headed up Mum's Helping Hand After Traumatic Birth. Support for others when needed most. So this article is by Michael Pringle. A mum who went through an extremely traumatic time giving birth to her daughter is offering support to other women in West Lothian. Jemima Foley is inviting mums to come along and join her at a monthly meeting in Whitburn where they can chat with other parents. The 31-year-old decided to run the group after gaining vital support herself from the postnatal mental health charity PANDAS, Postnatal Depression and Support. I started using Pandas when my daughter Alice was in the first 6 months of her life, said Jemima. I needed someone to talk to when I was struggling mentally. Alice was born by emergency section and the birth really did not go well. I was diagnosed with PTSD when she was only 6 to 8 weeks old. I don't remember the first moments of my daughter being born because I was so unwell. There wasn't that magical moment for me. I was dipping in and out of consciousness. As time went on, my husband Sean said I just wasn't right. I really wouldn't have got the diagnosis of PTSD without his support. Jemima says concerns over her own health cast a shadow over what should have been the memory of a lifetime for Sean too. Sean had 2 weeks paternity leave before he returned to shift work. It was then that Jemima turned to PANDAS for support. She continued, I loved that they had loads of different ways to get in touch for help. Telephone, a WhatsApp service, email. The WhatsApp totally came into its own for me. I could text them the way I could a pal. I was then referred to NHS Lothian's psychological intervention team, psychologists who specialise in postnatal issues. I received EMDR, eye movement desensitisation and reprocessing therapy for PTSD, which was absolutely incredible. Jemima, who's a nurse, had at first been sceptical that the therapy would be effective in helping her. I worked in an A&E department for nearly 6 years, but I very much see things in black and white, she said. I didn't approach the EMDR with the best attitude, to be honest. The first couple of sessions were hard going and I felt exhausted, but after a few more sessions, it was as if a light bulb had clicked on. It gave me an outlet and coping mechanisms. Postnatal depression can affect any parent, and realising there was nothing in West Lothian to help mums, Jemima decided to use her own personal experience to become a facilitator for PANDAS and help other parents. There is absolutely nothing in the area with the normal mental health services. I applied to PANDAS and completed training in birth trauma, family dynamics, baby loss and things like that. I am a nurse, but I'm not a nurse for PANDAS. I'm a volunteer, but running of the group is entirely down to me. The group is for any mum who is struggling, whether that be in the postnatal period or in early parenthood. It's open to dads too, but I've never had any come along as yet. It's really informal. You can come along and have tea, coffee and a biscuit, or have a rant if that's what you need to have. You can have a laugh as well. Some people might not have the opportunity of childcare for an hour, so you can bring along the children with you. We all need to get away for an hour now and again, but if you don't have the option, then I have toys and a play mat. The hour-long meetings take place at Whitburn Community Centre and start at 6:30 p.m. on the first Wednesday of each month. You can turn up at the meeting or you can get in touch via email. The email address is pandas@hotmail.com. The group is on Facebook. Search for PANDAS West Lothian. For more information on the charity and its services, visit www.pandasfoundation.org.uk.
Politicians condemn 9 nursery closures, an article by Ross Thompson. MSPs have spoken out against West Lothian Council's proposals to close 9 nurseries. Council officers are recommending the nursery closures as there are more child places available than required. Local authority nurseries have capacity for over 6,814 nursery children in West Lothian. However, the council has over 2,000 more places than is required this year, almost 30% more than needed to meet demand. Council officers have recommended that Dean's North Nursery, Glenview Nursery School and Ladywell Nursery School, all in Livingston, close in August. The others earmarked are Fauldhouse Nursery, Linlithgow Bridge Nursery, St Anthony's Nursery in Armadale, and St Joseph's Nursery in Whitburn, as well as Bathgate West Nursery and Our Lady's Nursery in Stonyburn. Amman Valley MSP Angela Constance said, "I am deeply concerned about the potential closure of these nurseries and the impact this will have on local families. Parents have consistently raised concerns about early years provision, yet the council has failed to take these views on board. If these closures proceed, families will have fewer options at a time when they should be benefiting from the Scottish Government's 1,140 hours of funded childcare, which is designed to provide flexibility and support to working parents. It is unacceptable for families to bear the brunt of poor planning, and I will continue to hold the council to account to ensure that the best interests of children and parents come first." Ms Constance's SNP colleague Fiona Hislop also spoke out against the council's proposals. The Linlithgow MSP said, Parents across my constituency have contacted me to share their concerns about these closures, which are taking place at a time when parents should be benefiting from flexibility and choice, as the Scottish Government are funding 1,140 hours of early learning and childcare, saving the average family £5,000 per eligible child. West Lothian Council have not listened to what parents told them in the original surveys about the provision of early learning facilities in the county in previous consultations, and ignored parents in this latest closure consultation. When these plans were initially announced, I called on the Council to undertake an independent review into the planning and provision of the extension of early years education and childcare. I am concerned that this has not taken place, and parents are now faced with losing these essential childcare and early learning facilities. Some of these nurseries serve communities where families face the highest levels of poverty, and they need more local support and services, not less. It is unacceptable that the parents and children of these nurseries are paying the price for the poor planning and policy delivery in early learning and childcare by West Lothian Council. Following my previous correspondence to the Chief Executive of West Lothian Council on this matter, I have written again to express my views on this issue and will update my constituents when I have received a response. A decision will be made on the recommendation at Education Executive in March. The Council would aim to deliver as much continuity as possible for parents, staff and young people should plans be approved. Greg Walsh, the Council's Head of Education, Primary and Early Years, said, "The data shows us that we have more physical capacity than we need, nearly 30% more. That is significant, and we know that birth rates have and continue to fall, which means that demand will continue to reduce in the years ahead. Currently, we have more nursery settings than required, and we cannot continue to operate this way if we are to ensure that the organisation remains efficient and delivers best value within available resources. By reducing the physical number of nurseries, we would be better placed to allocate a finite number of staff and resources across a smaller number of nurseries within the same communities. Concentrating resources within a smaller number of nurseries would support improvement in the quality of nursery provision in the remaining nurseries as a result of more efficiently deploying resources. Even with 9 less nursery buildings, multiple options for parents and young peoples would still be available, such as the oversupply of physical nursery places."
And this next article is called Camp Gives Back to Children with Health Challenges. Over the Wall charity provides safe and fun base for kids, and this is by a staff reporter. Over the Wall Camp is more than just a holiday. It's a medically safe place for children and young people with health challenges and disabilities to explore new possibilities and rediscover the fun and magic of childhood. Founded in 1999 by the late Oscar-winning Hollywood actor and philanthropist Paul Newman and UK businessman Joe Woods, Over the Wall Camp, OTWC, is the only UK charity providing free-of-charge residential activity camps for children and their families, specifically designed to address the physiological impact of living with a serious long-term health condition. The charity, which has residential camps in Perthshire every summer since 2014, provides therapeutic camps designed to give children and their siblings the opportunity to recapture parts of their childhood that illnesses would have otherwise taken, such as forming friendships, trying new things, and most importantly, having fun. Activities include dance parties, climbing, swimming, archery, face painting, and arts and crafts. The organisation prides itself on a meaningful activity programme which has been designed to be inclusive and help every camper succeed. Over the Wall Camp is where many children and young people with health challenges grow their confidence, form lifelong bonds and feel more independent than ever before. To make camp possible, a specialist medical team of nurses, doctors and paramedics are there at all times. This means they can provide routine care and respond to emergencies, giving families the security and reassurance that their child is safe. Clinical and Recruitment Director Sally McCluskey, who volunteers as a doctor at the Strathallan School Camp, told the told of the incredible experience helping children build their confidence. She says volunteering as a clinical volunteer at Over the Wall Camp is an incredible experience. You care for children with various medical needs, watching them gain confidence, form friendships, and simply be kids without being defined by illness. Seeing them thrive outside the hospital reminds us why we chose the clinical profession. Over the Wall Camp welcomes children and young people with a wide variety of medical needs, their families and siblings of children with medical conditions who may not meet our criteria to attend camp themselves. We recruit campers from all areas of Scotland with transport hubs in Aberdeen, Glasgow and Edinburgh. Our residential camps provide a unique opportunity for children to experience the joy of being kids while receiving home-from-home medical care thanks to the support of our dedicated clinical team. Campers build friendships, gain confidence and enjoy a space where they are not defined by their illness but celebrated for who they are. Awarded Outstanding Provider status by Ofsted OTWC's programmes, which have been academically researched and independently evaluated in numerous studies, achieve transformational outcomes, including improved confidence, self-esteem, resilience and a sense of belonging. Beneficiaries also show more positive relationship skills, improved social skills and interest in social activities. The charity's CEO, Kevin Matheson, said many children living with long-term health conditions in the UK may experience isolation, lack confidence, or simply be unable to participate in the activities enjoyed by their peers. Over the Wall Camp is a place that can give back this to children. The charity is hosting 2 residential camps in Scotland this year in Perthshire, a 5-night health challenge camp from July the 7th to the 11th for children and their siblings, and a 2-night family camp from July the 4th to the 6th for children and their families. This year, transport options have been expanded for the health challenge and siblings camp. Buses will pick campers up from hubs in Edinburgh, Glasgow and Aberdeen. Applications for residential camps in Scotland are open. To find out more about residential camps, visit their website at www.otw.org.uk/Scotland/. And there's some lovely pictures of children doing what looks like incredibly daring things on high wires and ropes and things like that. Picture of the actual camp place at Strathallan, and a little picture of Paul Newman as well.
Locals left waiting for a new school. An article by Stuart Somerville. Councillors have agreed to mothball a village school for a second year as the community awaits the delivery of a new school. Dechmont Infant School, the last infant school in Scotland, shut its doors at the end of the school year in June last year, with the children being transferred to Kirkhill Primary in Broxburn at the start of the year last August. Children attending the Dechmont Infant School will be accommodated within Kirkhill Primary School for the duration of the school year 2025-26. This will now extend to the summer holiday in June 2026. Dechmont School only took classes up to Primary 3, with older primary children being bused to Kirkhill. Plans are in place for a new full primary classes, Primary 1 to 7, and associated nursery school for Dechmont within the development of the 1,000 new homes on the Bangor Hospital site. Though a specific date for the new school has yet to be confirmed, it will likely be when the specific number of homes are completed at Bangor and applications for school places start to rise. In a report to the Education Executive this month, officers said the closing date for applications for Dechmont Primary School was the 31st of December 2024. To date, 4 applicants have been received for the Primary 1 stage at the Dechmont Infant School, with 2 received before the closing date and 2 after. All applications contain second and third choices, and in each case it is to be anticipated that the second choice school will be granted. The closing date for applications for Decment Infant School classes is the 15th of March 2025. To date, no first choice applications have been received for early learning at Decment Infant School nursery class. The report added, mothballing a school is a temporary closure which does not lead to a requirement for consultation under the Schools Consultation Scotland Act 2010. This decision was taken as a result of falling applications for the school and nursery, and planning forecasts showing that this position was anticipated to continue until the opening of the new primary school. The Education Executive agreed at its meeting on the 26th of June 2024 to approve the proposal to mothball Decment Infant School and the Decment Infant School nursery class for the duration of the school year 2024-25, and these arrangements will be reviewed annually. Villages are keen to see the school building retained for community use, and the building that's hoped to be retained is the wee school in Decment. It sits on the main street that runs through the village and is very familiar to those who know the area well.
This is an article by Stuart Somerville, Rent Rise on Cards for Thousands of Tenants. Council rents will rise to an average of £89 a week in West Lothian, following agreement by a special meeting of the full council. Councillors across the chamber backed the 3.5% increase, which will be in force until 2027-28. Elected members also agreed a capital spending programme, including new builds and renovation of existing stock, totalling over £100 million in the next 3 years. An amendment by the SNP calling for more money to be targeted on empty homes was rejected. The average weekly rent will rise by £3.01 to £89.14 from April. Rents for garages will rise to £6.94. By 2027-28, rents will be £95.49 a week. Opposition SNP group leader, Councillor Janet Campbell, suggested that tenants had been given a loaded question in the recent consultation, in only being asked whether they agreed to the 3.5% increase with no alternatives. A report to councillors said the council also received 725 responses to the consultation, with 431, 59%, of those tenants responding expressing a preference for the 3.5% per annum rent increase over the 3-year period 25 to 26 to 27-28. There were no responses from persons on the Common Housing Register. The average weekly rent level in West Lothian for 24-25 is £86.13, which is slightly above the average rent charged by Scottish local authorities of £83.32, but below the average rent charged by local registered social landlords at £103.65. As the Local Democracy Reporting Service revealed last week, neighbouring authorities are planning higher rent rises, including East Lothian, which is considering a 6.5% increase. A motion from the Labour group said, "This minority Labour administration doesn't underestimate the challenges for our tenants in these very difficult times, and notes the reported levels of cumulative rent arrears. However, with an in-year collection rate of 97% this year to date, our tenants yet again are to be commended for the priority they are placing on the payment of rent." The SNP group supported the 3.5% rise, but an amendment by Councillor de Bold called for the redirection of funds with the housing accounts to concentrate on getting void homes back to lettable standard quicker. The amendment said, The average cost to return a void property, including labour and material costs, is approximately £6,150 per property, and the Council therefore resolves to redirect £160,000 of budget from within existing resources to reduce the number of void properties by a further 26 properties, in addition to existing targets for 2025-26, and return them to mainstream lets. Independent councillor Andrew Maguire said the council had already made good progress in bringing down the number of void homes through the last year. The council had, last year, agreed to suspend non-urgent repairs for a time to concentrate on a growing backlog of void homes, and more than 1,000 were returned to the books in the last year. Council leader Lawrence Fitzpatrick said the problems West Lothian faced had been exacerbated by changes in legislation which removed the need for a local connection to qualify for housing. This change now allows anyone to demand a council home in West Lothian.
This next article is called Borough Hall Staff Get Reassurance, Fears Allayed Over Linlithgow Premises. This is an article by Stuart Somerville. Staff at West Lothian's Borough Halls have been reassured they will be part of a solution for the council-owned Linlithgow wedding venue and its financial woes. The venue is facing a projected overspend of £100,000, first highlighted in November. The figure is actually an income target, which the venue didn't reach. At this month's meeting of West Lothian's executive councillors heard updates on dire financial forecasts as the end of the financial year looms. Lib Dem Linlithgow councillor Sally Pattle asked, "We have a forecast overspend of £100,000 at the Borough Halls. I know there's ongoing work. I'd like some reassurance that it's being done with the staff at the Borough Halls." Alan Colquhoun, Strategic Partnerships Manager, told the meeting that is the case. It is being led by the head of service, supported by myself and the venue team, and supported by officers across the council. There has been debate over the future of the Borough Halls for almost a year. The building is marketed by the council as a wedding venue and exhibition space. It also houses a small cafe. Despite its central position in the heart of the Royal Borough, it has struggled to meet expected income targets. In Linlithgow, critics of the council's ownership say the Borough Halls occupies a backwater within the council's education services portfolio, where officers are concentrating on schools and early years learning provision. There are some in the town who believe it could be better run independent of the council as it stands as a standalone venue. All three Linlithgow councillors have backed a wider review of the way the venue is managed and marketed. When the £100,000 overspend was first revealed in November, Councillor Pattle defended the staff at the wedding venue, telling the meeting of the executive at the time they really are experts at what they do. The packages they deliver really are top class, particularly in the context of West Lothian. Veteran Labour councillor Tom Conn, who earlier in the year had demanded education officers carry out a review of the use of the Borough Halls with a more holistic approach, said the £100,000 at the November meeting, "This is a target which is assigned and not met. If targets are increased and the previous target has not been met, are we not creating a problem? If the targets are falling, then it has nothing to do with the facility. It is to do with the expectation of the targets." The SNP's councillor, Pauline Orr, had asked what education officials were going to do to address the issue. Greg Welsh, head of primary education within whose remit the Borough Halls sits, told the November meeting officers are currently undertaking work to look at a longer-term business plan for the Borough Halls, and that is set to come before the corporate policy PDSP by the turn of the year. The report is expected to go before the councillors in the coming weeks. And there's a picture of the Borough Halls in Linlithgow and the councillor Sally Pattle.
Charity drive in honour of Paul to fund life-saving defibrillators. An article by Michael Pringle. Friends and family of a Livingston man who died after suffering a cardiac arrest are aiming to drive their charity fundraising to over £100,000 this year and help save lives. Paul Linus died in September 2017, aged just 37, and fundraising in his memory started the following year. Since then, they have raised £92,000, which has paid for the installation of 5 life-saving defibrillators in West Lothian, with the rest donated to the British Heart Foundation. 2 events are planned in the coming months: an indoor bowls tournament in April and their annual golf day in May. Paul's brother-in-law, Ali Fleming, said, "It was actually never really about raising money. It was about bringing together to get folk together to remember him. For us, it's about creating days that Paul would have loved being part of." Paul was a big bowler and a big golfer, so we're having an indoor bowls event in April and then the main golf day at Uphall. The bowling community is really supportive of us. We put it out to those who have taken part before. Basically, both sell out. We have 72 golfers who played last year, and we go back to them. There's a bit of a waiting list in case anyone drops out. Some of the money raised from the events held in Paul's memory have funded the installation of defibrillators at a number of locations in West Lothian, which give people a much better chance of surviving a cardiac arrest. We've funded 5 defibrillators already. The last one installed was at Uphall Golf Club, said Ali. The clubhouse was burned down and we had it installed at the new clubhouse when it reopened last year. The other 4 are at Middleton Hall Bowling Club, Bathgate Bowling Club, Blackburn Bowling Club, and there's one at Eelyburn in Livingston. They cost around £1,800 each. The total funds we've raised is £92,000. That is between the defibrillators and the British Heart Foundation. So we're hoping this year we get to a total of £100,000 raised. While the life-saving defibs are a tangible, visible reminder of the use of the money, Ali is keen to highlight that the money that the BHF received is also critical to raising survival rates. Paul was at home and had no prior health issues. It came right out of the blue, he continued. We live just round the corner from him and I gave him CPR. The British Heart Foundation are doing a Nation of Lifesavers campaign for CPR training for every kid in high schools, which will be rolled out in England through the UK government. In Scotland, it had to go through all the individual local authorities. I ended up speaking at the SNP conference talking about Paul's story. Cardiac survival rates are really low in Scotland compared to other nations around Europe. My own wee boy is starting high school in August and he'll learn CPR thanks to the campaign. So that's a tangible way of explaining where some of the money we've raised goes. The bowling event will take place at West Lothian Indoor Bowling Club in Inverarmond Stadium on Saturday, April the 12th, and the golf day is being held at Uphall Golf Course on Saturday, the 31st of May. And there's a picture accompanying this. There's 9 people who have been involved in the fundraising, and they are standing in 2 small groups, and in between them there is the very colourful container with the defibrillator, and the folks are standing there smiling at the camera, looking very relaxed after their hard work, most in shorts and t-shirts.
Partner announcement is something to smile about. An article by Ross Thompson. The Centre Livingston has announced its first Supporting the Community charity partner this year as Livingston-based Smile Counselling. The charity was founded 10 years ago by Declan Harrigan to provide counselling for young people between the ages of 11 to 24 in West Lothian. The Support in the Community initiative helps charities and social enterprises by providing awareness raising and fundraising opportunities, including free pop-up space in the shopping centre, a £250 gift card donation and marketing support. Over the years, the Centre Livingston has supported many organisations, including Kids Eco, based in the mall, West Lothian Youth Foundation, West Lothian Diabetes Scotland Group, Carers of West Lothian Youth Action Project, Spark, River Kids and Dignity Boxes. This year, another 4 organisations will be supported for a period of 3 months each, with Smile Counselling being announced as the first partnership. The charity, which was awarded Scottish Charity of the Year in 2022 in recognition of the outstanding dedication and impact by their team, was founded in 2015 by Declan, who has worked in the mental health sector for over 25 years and as a counsellor for 15 years. Declan said, "We are absolutely honoured to be chosen as the Centre Livingston's first charity partner of the year. The shopping centre plays a vital role in bringing the community together, aligning perfectly with the charity's core belief in the power of meaningful connections. We are very grateful for the opportunity, especially having a free pop-up in the mall during the last weekend in March, and look forward to sharing our journey over the last 10 years and the services and support we provide to help young people in West Lothian. The services provided include face-to-face, online and telephone sessions to help with mental health challenges, including anxiety, trauma and stress, and also group sessions to help promote mental health awareness and resilience in young people and their families. Smile also partners with schools to provide on-site counselling, workshops and mental health education, and as a registered SQA training centre, also offers advanced training for therapists using their own bespoke training programmes. These are specifically designed to equip individuals with the skills required to address mental health challenges effectively and make a lasting impact on their communities. As part of their 10th anniversary milestone, Declan and his team of 19 counsellors and therapists and 18 volunteers are on a mission to raise awareness of their services with various campaigns, including a £10 a month anniversary donation scheme to help pay for more free sessions for young people. Shoppers can find out more about the campaign and the services they offer at their pop-up in the shopping centre on the last weekend of March. The team will also be appealing for donations and highlighting volunteering vacancies. Patrick Roberts, Centre Director, said, "We are delighted to be partnering with Smile to help them raise awareness at their pop-up and also appeal for much-needed donations and volunteers. Our Support in the Community initiative, which we've been running for many years now, provides us with the opportunity to help lots of organisations who are going the extra mile to help people and shine a light on the great work they are doing. To nominate a charity or organisation, download the application form on the website, thecentrelivingston.com, and email the completed form to inquiries@thecentrelivingston.com. For more information, check out the website smilecounselling.org.uk.
Supporting women in memory of young mum. Fitting tribute to nurse Nicola. And this next article is by Michael Pringle. A support group for women in West Lothian is being launched in memory of a former nurse from Bathgate. Nicola Tyne died in January last year, aged just 35. The mum of 2 from Bathgate had endometriosis and had been suffering horrendous pain while awaiting surgery. Nicola, who was also a police officer, had previously been in the army and worked as a mental health nurse. Unable to suffer the physical pain she was in, she took her own life. Her sudden death came as a shock to those who knew and loved her. Nicola's mum, Elaine Watson, 64, claims her daughter was failed by the NHS and couldn't endure any more suffering after scheduled surgery was cancelled, and she was told she'd have to wait a further 18 months. She was let down big style by the NHS, said Elaine. She suffered for 15 months with severe endometriosis and was in agony. Nicola had to give up her job in the police because she couldn't stand the pain. She had presented at the hospital with severe pain umpteen times and was always given painkillers, including morphine, and then sent away. She phoned the doctor about her op taking place sooner and received a call a week before she died, telling her that she'd be seen in a month to 3 months. She was elated. But on the Wednesday, she phoned me and told me that they told her that she'd have to wait 18 months. News of the further wait seemed to be the tipping point for Nicola. She wrote letters to all her family members before, tragically, she was found dead at home on the Friday. Nicola was mum to a daughter and son, who are now 15 and 12 years old. She just couldn't take it anymore, Elaine admits. 2 Christmases in a row, she had to drive herself to A&E, but she was just punted back out the door with medication. A women's support group, simply named Nicola's, has been set up by extended family member June Smiley, who is team leader of the Practice Mental Health Nurse Service in West Lothian. Backed by a team of experienced volunteers and health workers, June aims to offer a safe, comfortable space for women in West Lothian who may be struggling, feeling a bit lost or needing some support. Elaine is part of the committee, and Nicola's teenage daughter will be helping as a volunteer. News of the launch of the women's support group was posted on Facebook and Instagram and garnered over 150,000 views in the space of a week. June said, Nicola was just a beautiful person, and the response has been unbelievable. I've been a nurse for 37 years, and I think there are too many structured talking groups that people are terrified to go to. We have 18 volunteers so far, and we are all from backgrounds in health, social care and education. We have a wealth of experience. We will be offering support and signposting women as well as promoting free services. It's not just about mental health, it's about physical health too. Nicola had a physical condition that impacted on her mental health. A lot of people don't understand that you can't really separate the two. There are people who may have had a major operation. There are others who may have been diagnosed with cancer. It's all about helping all those women who don't know where to turn. We don't have any criteria, so you can come into us and have a cup of coffee. We're open to any woman that wants to walk in the door. Dr. Tracy Gillis, Executive Medical Director, NHS Lothian, said, our deepest condolences are with the family involved. Unfortunately, we are unable to discuss individual patients without consent of the family. Open on 2 Saturday mornings each month, Nicola's will be a drop-in place where women can pop in for a cuppa and a chat. A venue is yet to be confirmed, and there's a picture of Nicola.
Announcements this week. Well, in fact, there is only one announcement, and it's a death. Mary Templeton passed away peacefully on the 9th of February 2025, aged 83. She will be lovingly remembered by her husband Richard, 2 daughters and 4 grandchildren. We're going to have several more general stories at this point from the Courier, and this one is entitled MSP Reaffirms Centre Support. Amman Valley MSP Angela Constance has reaffirmed her support for the community campaign for a new health centre in East Calder. The MSP has been attending cross-party meetings with Scottish Health Secretary Neil Gray and separately with senior figures from NHS Lothian. It is widely accepted that the current East Calder Health Centre is no longer fit for purpose, and the focus must now be on progressing this vital infrastructure project for the growing community in the area. While the Scottish Government awaits the outcome of the UK Government's spending review to determine future capital funding, Angela Constance welcomed the commitment from the Cabinet Secretary for Health to re-examine what steps can be taken to move the project forward. Ms. Constance said, I will continue to support the community campaign for a new health centre all the way. Everyone agrees that the current East Calder Health Centre is not fit for purpose. With the community continuing to grow, it is imperative that West Lothian Health and Social Care Partnership, NHS Lothian and the Scottish Government work together to find a solution to meet the needs of local people. An important meeting is also scheduled in the coming weeks to assess whether any slippage in other capital projects could create an opportunity to prioritise investment in primary care services. Following these discussions, Angela Constance has written again to Neil Gray, MSP, to emphasise the urgent need to unlock this project. In particular, she has called for NHS Lothian to complete the full business case, which has not been delivered, and for collaboration between the Scottish Government and the Health Board to ensure urgency and progress.
Mum calls for investment in specialist service. An article by Nicholas Malizia. A West Lothian mum has called for more specialist facilities after the local authority confirmed its intention to close 9 nurseries this summer. The authority announced on February 10th officers are recommending 7 active nurseries in West Lothian close in August, joining 2 currently inactive nurseries. Council chiefs say the services are underused with capacity for over 6,814 nursery children, 2,000 more places than is required this year. 9 nurseries in Livingston, Armadale, Whitburn, Bathgate and Stonyburn are currently earmarked for closure, with a final decision expected in March. In the wake of the recent announcement, residents took to social media, with some urging the council to invest additional funds into specialist nurseries for children with additional needs. Lisa Stevenson's son has autism, and she hopes the council will dedicate more funding to specialist nurseries with the extra space created by the closures. She said, specialist nurseries for the growing number of neurodivergent children is needed so they get the proper care and support to thrive. Also, more places at special needs schools so that children who need specialist care are not made to be put into mainstream schools. A place where the relevant care and support can be lacking and they don't get the chance to reach their full potential. This is where some of the money saved should be going. Lisa told Edinburgh Live, Scotland is committed to GIRFEC, getting it right for every child, and I don't feel like West Lothian Council is doing that at the moment. I'm friends with people that struggle to get their kids a specialist place when they need one. Lisa's 13-year-old son was able to get a spot at a specialist nursery, which Lisa says prepared him to thrive in his current special school in Livingston. She continued, I was very fortunate that my son got a place at Beatley School campus. It had a massive impact on his progress and got him ready for going into a special needs school in Livingston. This needs to be available for more kids. There are definitely not enough specialist nursery places. He has really thrived. Staff are all trained on handling meltdowns. Parents will be able to know that their kids have all the care and support they need to thrive. Autism is such a wide spectrum and kids have all got different needs. With my son going to specialist school, I feel secure that knowing that he has what he needs to learn. A West Lothian Council spokesperson said, we currently provide specialist nursery places at Beatley School in Livingston for children with severe, complex and medical support needs. Council nurseries are equipped to meet the needs of children with a range of additional support needs.
This next article is by Stuart Somerville and it's entitled Low Level of Empty Properties. The number of empty council properties in West Lothian is at its lowest level in several years. Currently around 251 mainstream properties, which is 1.7% of all council properties in West Lothian, are currently without a tenant. This is a significant reduction compared to the number of void properties, which was over 500 in November 2023. There has also been an increase in the number of properties being relet this year, with 1,167 properties relet. This is an increase of 111 compared to the same period last year. All council homes that are returned to the council are classified as being void, and all are in need of some degree of repair work or maintenance checks. This can range from a simple electrical safety test to a complete refurbishment, including new kitchens, bathrooms, central heating, electrical and plumbing. The condition of void properties determines how quickly the council can turn them over and have them available to relet. Some homes take longer to repair and relet. For example, if there are significant repairs required, issues relating to utilities companies, a requirement to engage with contractors to complete repairs, or difficulty in sourcing materials to complete repairs. Homes that are returned to the council and are in extremely poor state are classed as C-class. These require a significant level of repair, which is often complex and time-consuming to repair. Unfortunately, the council has experienced a significant increase in the number of properties returned in C-class. The number of homes in C-class has nearly doubled since 2020-21. In the more complex cases where significant repairs are required, these homes can be out of action for a prolonged period of time. West Lothian Executive Councillor for Housing Services, George Paul, said this is a key priority for the council. A significant amount of effort and resource has been deployed to ensure that we reduce the number of empty or void properties locally and ensure that they are relet as quickly as possible. West Lothian Council has repaired and bought over 1,300 council properties up to a lettable standard since April 2024, 251 more than this time last year. And we have had 1,144 properties returned to the council as tenancies were ended. Julie Whitelaw, Head of Housing, Customer and Building Services, added, almost as many council homes are returned to us as are relet, which highlights that there is a continual process to repair, check and relet empty council homes, which we class as being voids. This turnover of property is necessary to allow us to offer new tenancies to people who are seeking council housing in West Lothian. Properties are handed back to the council for a variety of reasons, such as the death of the tenant, someone gives up the tenancy, or they are evicted. What is key is that we turn around the homes as quickly as possible, both in terms of building work and then reletting the reletting process. We are certainly making progress in that area, but there is still work to be done. Our aim is to reduce the 1.7 to 1% or below, which we believe would be one of the best performances in the country. Even when homes are ready for a new tenant, the majority of first offers are turned down by the next person on the waiting list. This can be due to a number of factors, including an individual turning down a home, the type of home available, or individuals simply not turning up for appointments with the housing officers to view the property. When someone turns down the offer of a home, the home is then offered to the next person on the waiting list until someone agrees and signs the tenancy agreement. However, it does not mean that there will never be 0% of void or empty homes. And there is a photograph of West Lothian Executive Council for Housing Services, Officer George Paul.
Anti-Poverty Partnership has given Top Gong, an article by Michael Pringle. An anti-poverty partnership project in West Lothian has proved to be a winner after it scooped a research award. A joint submission from West Lothian Council's Anti-Poverty Service and the Improvement Service picked up a prize at the Local Area Research Intelligence Association Research Impact Awards. The project won the award for best use of data to address unmet needs. The Improvement Service and West Lothian Council have worked together to develop an approach to identifying unmet needs using a combination of publicity available and council-held data taken up by education benefits. By bringing together these databases, analytical insights and local knowledge, a child poverty index model was created to show the places where support entitlement is not reaching those in need. This is incredibly powerful information available at granular level as it goes beyond single data sets that tend to only show current uptake. The judges were impressed by the simplicity of the approach, use of the Council's own data, and the impact that it already has had locally. The Local Area Research and Intelligence Association Research Impact Awards are the only awards specifically designed to showcase the work of those researching local areas and recognise the impact of research at a local level and showcase the very best work of our members. Leader of the West Lothian Council, Lawrence Fitzpatrick, said, "This is an impressive project demonstrating the potential of partnership working in the public sector to create tangible results that support local communities. It is pleasing to see this work has been recognised, and I congratulate the Council's Anti-Poverty Service and the Improvement Service. The insights gained from this project will allow services to be better targeted with resources directly in the areas that are in most need, addressing a key priority in trying to alleviate poverty at a local level." West Lothian Council Anti-Poverty Manager Nahid Hanif said, "Working in partnership with the Improvement Service, we now have a better understanding of how to most appropriately analyse the data at our disposal to provide the most appropriate support for our customers. The Child Poverty Index model allows identification of unmet needs in the communities with high levels of poverty but low levels of benefit uptake. This model will help identify households with children in poverty, particularly those with unmet needs not identified in other databases. This has given us a strong place to start, and as we add more data sets, we will be able to understand the scale and local need that other data sets are not able to tell us." Nick Cassidy, Research Manager of the Improvement Service, added, "This project allows us to use the research skills and experience of the Improvement Service together with the local expertise from West Lothian Council to deliver simple, low-cost, actionable insights that will deliver support to those in need within West Lothian. It's a great honour to have this work recognised at the Local Area Research and Intelligence Association Research Impact Awards, and we hope that this model will go on to help many more families and young people across West Lothian and the rest of Scotland."
A new build sales office is open, an unattributed article. Lovell Homes has just opened sales for the first phase of new homes at its Central Square development in Winchborough. The first homes released for sale feature a mix of 3 and 4 bedroom styles, with prices starting at £292,500. These homes are designed to suit modern lifestyles and combine contemporary layouts with high-quality finishes. Situated in the heart of one of Scotland's most ambitious placemaking projects, the Lovell development, Central Square, is ideally located in what will become a new central hub for the growing community of the historic Winchborough village, established in 1169. Central Square is opposite a new Sainsbury's superstore and within walking distance to the marina and award-winning Old Cathay Park, as well as a new school, wellbeing centre, leisure campus and new public parks. Winchborough offers excellent transport links, including the recently opened M9 Link Road, providing easy access to Edinburgh, Glasgow and beyond. New show homes are also set to open at Central Square, offering prospective buyers the chance to explore the level quality and attention to detail. The show homes, expected to open in June, will showcase the premium finishes and personalisation options available throughout the Lovell Inspirations range. Margaret Davidson, Sales and Marketing Director at Lovell Homes in Scotland, said, Central Square is a key milestone for Lovell Homes as we bring high-quality homes to the heart of one of Scotland's most exciting community developments. These first homes offers buyers the chance to be part of Winchborough's remarkable transformation, combining excellent transport links, top schools and access to green areas. Bookings can be made online at lovell.co.uk/developments/central-square-Winchborough.
Age Scotland is the charity of choice for 2,600 workers at Lothian buses, and this next article is by Ross Thompson. Lothian Buses is delighted to announce that Age Scotland has been chosen as its new charity of choice partner for the next 2 years, following a staff vote of the company's 2,600 plus strong workforce. Age Scotland work to improve the lives of older people in Scotland. They provide a free helpline and information service, support older people groups, promote age and dementia-friendly communities, deliver wellbeing programmes, and campaign on behalf of older people. The partnership, which will run until the start of 2027, will help support Age Scotland's vision to ensure Scotland is the best place in the world to grow older, and will provide the charity with an invaluable opportunity to raise awareness of its work and services across Edinburgh and the Lothians. There will be unique marketing opportunities, including the wrapping of a bus in Age Scotland messaging, and all funds raised from this partnership will contribute to Age Scotland's community development work across Lothian's network, including assisting the work of over 60 Age Scotland member groups. Gaynor Marshall, Communications Director for Lothian, said, "We're delighted to welcome Age Scotland as Lothian's Charity of Choice 2025-26. Lothian is proud to be part of the communities we serve, and we look forward to working with the team at Age Scotland over the course of the next 2 years to raise awareness of the support they can offer, helping to tackle loneliness, support inclusion, and deliver better lives for older people across our operating area." Catherine Crawford, Chief Executive of Age Scotland, added, "Tens of thousands of older people across the Lothians experience loneliness, and this wonderful partnership means we can reach many more people with the services that we offer and support dozens of local groups and clubs which keep older people connected. We're incredibly grateful to the staff at Lothian who voted for us to be their charity of choice over the next 2 years." And there's a lovely picture of a double-decker bus with about 15 staff members and of Lothian buses and the charity standing alongside the bus.
Council is slammed for household waste dump. Residents' fury over build-up for rubbish in Ladywell. Article by Michael Pringle. A Livingston resident has criticised West Lothian Council for allowing a build-up of household waste that's attracting rats. John Pittman, who lives at Forest Bank in the Ladywell area, says that since a new bin service was introduced last summer, rubbish has been piling up and it's not being collected for weeks on end. "We now have rats in the bins area and it's absolutely vile and disgusting," said John. "I've been here for 2 years and I've logged lots of complaints. I don't think these bins have been emptied since November. The council have said it's due to the weather and that other people are fly tipping. Other people are coming in when the rubbish piles up and are leaving stuff. But it's every week, and when the seagulls get in to it, it's all over the place and the wind blows it everywhere. Now we've actually got rats coming back and forth to it. The bins are for people living in the flats at Forest Bank and are communal recycling bins. Previously, residents had their own personal bin area." John continues, "We had bins storage areas with keys and a bin in it, which we would take out once every 2 weeks. So they changed that and installed all these communal bin areas throughout Livingston. They've done it in Ladywell and Craigshill. When you go through Ladywell, Fernbank, it is the same. It's all stacked up." There's just not enough bins, and when they're full, there's nowhere to put your bag, so people have had no opportunity or no option but to leave them on the ground beside them. They're just not getting emptied. I was told 2 weeks ago that someone would be out, but they didn't appear. It's been like this every month since they installed them last summer. It's not the worst it's been, but it's a regular occurrence. The Courier got in touch with West Lothian Council, who apologised to residents and ensured a prompt clean-up of the site. A West Lothian Council spokesman said, "We can confirm that a clean-up of the site is taking place, and we would like to apologise to impacted residents. We will continue to explore further means of intervention to try and reduce the number of instances of dumping of excess waste around communal bin stores."
Volunteer to help out, an unattributed article. Anyone who would like to become a volunteer at over-the-wall camps are being urged to get in touch and help create memories for hundreds of children. Volunteers are at the heart of the residential camps, which also run in England, with both the clinical volunteers and wider volunteering team providing invaluable care for families and children who attend. The organisation was recently given £187,065 in National Lottery funding. The money will part fund a new project, Enhancing Volunteer Experience, and will be given to Over the Wall Camp over the next 3 years as part of the National Lottery's Reaching Communities programme. Assistant Camp Director for Volunteering, Amy, worked on the funding application for almost a year. She explained, "We are incredibly grateful to the National Lottery Community Fund for supporting our project to enhance the volunteer experience at Over the Wall Camp throughout the next 3 years. This funding will allow us to continue to improve our volunteering programme based on the feedback of those who know it best, our volunteers. By enhancing the process for both new and returning volunteers, we aim to expand our family of volunteers and, as a result, welcome even more children living with health conditions to camp. Thank you to the Reaching Communities programme and the National Lottery players for helping to recognise the wonderful contribution of our volunteers and enabling more children and families to rediscover the fun and magic of childhood. We see daily just how impactful volunteering is for people in growing their confidence, socialising and working with people from diverse careers and backgrounds, responding better to challenges and gaining transferable skills that help with employability. And we love for everyone to get as much as they can from volunteering with us. We welcome everybody from different backgrounds, characteristics and skill sets. We firmly believe that everyone has value at camp and would love to meet you to share this experience over a week or weekend. We just ask that you let loose and get back in touch with your silly side, whilst being willing to learn and support our campers. Visit otw.org.uk/volunteer for more information or to apply.
This next article is entitled "Spiralling Costs, Reason for 7.3 Million Overspend," and it's unattributed. Spiralling costs in adult social care have driven a 7.3 million overspend in West Lothian Health and Social Care Partnership. A meeting of the Integration Joint Board heard that costs have beaten the allocated budget across services. Adult social care alone contributed more than 5 million to the overspend. The ongoing 12 million budget shortfall means that more savings and service cuts are likely in the coming financial year, the IJB heard this week. Chief Financial Officer Hamish Hamilton told councillors, voting and non-voting members of the board, the budget position has remained extremely challenging due to the increase in demand for health and social care services, coupled with high inflation and increasing complexity of care required for individuals in the community. The board agreed a recovery plan in September last year, which was to share the adult social care overspend on an equal basis with West Lothian Council. This proposal was agreed by West Lothian Council at the Council Executive meeting in November. The final amounts will not be confirmed until the financial year end, but based on current projections, the IJB share of the adult social care overspend is £2.669 million. The board can only achieve break-even in 2024-25 because of West Lothian Council's agreeing to make an additional payment to the IJB to the value of 50% of the year-end overspend in social care, and then drawing down significant amounts of funding from the IJB reserves to meet the residual health and social care overspend. The current budget position will deplete the board's usable reserves and increase the requirements to make the unprecedented cost reductions to remain financially sustainable. A report to the IJB concluded, based on current projections, it is assumed that the IJB will face a budget gap of £12 million next year, which is a 4% budget gap. As the budget gap follows several years of delivering significantly savings, it is highly likely that the savings measures required to balance the 2025-2026 budget will affect service provision.
The next small item from the Courier is about a football issue, but it's not from the sports page. Players shock as footballer suffers horrific double-leg break during the match. An amateur footballer suffered a horrible double-leg break after a freak accident on the pitch. Callum Rogers, 28, snapped his tibia and fibula after landing on his ankle while filling in for his local team, Loganlea United, in Edinburgh on February the 8th. He was rushed to Edinburgh Royal Infirmary for surgery, where he remains. The self-employed joiner says that he has been told he may not be able to walk properly for 9 months. Callum from West Lothian told the Daily Record, "I leapt into the air to get the ball and I landed on my right leg. I heard a massive crack and I knew straight away I had snapped something. I tried to grab my shin and my ankle was dangling like spaghetti. I wasn't meant to be playing that day." Callum then endured 45 minutes wait for the ambulance as his teammates, coaches and the opposition rallied around him. "The paramedics tried to calm me, but I asked them to be straight with me," he continued. "They told me it wasn't looking good and I just got really upset. Then the pain started to hit me." Callum, who is self-employed, now faces 9 months of recovery and physiotherapy before he will be able to walk or to work. His teammates and coaches have created a GoFundMe page to help him during his recovery.
Outlet announces partnership, an article by Ross Thompson. Livingston Designer Outlet has announced its 2025 partnership with the Scottish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the SSPCA. Every year, Livingston Designer Outlet collaborates with a new charity aiming to give back and make positive change amongst the local community, with this year's partnership being with the SSPCA. The collaboration will help support the charity's mission to rescue, rehabilitate and rehome local animals 365 days of the year. Last year, the SSPCA responded to 4,657 animal-related incidents, launched 655 investigations into animal welfare, supported 69 struggling owners by providing food to food banks, and educated 2,529 people through schools and community groups about protecting Scotland's animals. Kylie Wilson, marketing manager at Livingston Designer Outlet, said, "Pets are such an important part of our lives and we know how many of our guests love and care for animals. Everyone here at Livingston Designer Outlet is passionate about helping pets find their forever homes, and by partnering with the SSPCA, we hope to not only raise awareness but also increase donations. Every contribution will help the SSPCA continue their brilliant work across Scotland. Claire Burns, the SSPCA's regional fundraising lead, added, "We were delighted to hear that we had been chosen as the 2025 charity partner for Livingston Designer Outlet, and we already put some exciting plans in place. We're looking forward to engaging with their staff and shoppers, and every penny raised will help us on our mission to ensure Scotland is the best place for an animal to call home. Keep your eyes peeled for further updates as the partnership continues to progress."
Spectrum is rocked by a visit from MSP Fiona, and this is an unattributed article. Linlithgow MSP Fiona Hislop visited Let's Rock the Spectrum in Armadale to find out more about the resource for local families. Let's Rock the Spectrum is a play space for 0 to 7-year-olds and also offers a variety of classes and venue hire. Fiona said, "Ensuring children are supported in the early stages of their life is so important, and Rachel and the team at Let's Rock the Spectrum are providing an invaluable space in Armadale for children and their families to play and learn. Let's Rock the Spectrum have a large play space, a dedicated area for babies, and an excellent sensory play area. The Scottish Government are committed to supporting children and families, and I am pleased to see the 2025-26 Scottish budget will include £471 million for the Scottish Child Payment, which benefits 12,460 children in West Lothian and will be increased to £27.15 per child per week. I would encourage anyone who has not yet been to Let's Rock the Spectrum and check out this space, this wonderful play space." And there is a picture of Fiona Hislop to accompany the article.
A little article in the Courier this week was entitled "This Week in Sport," and it lists 5 people for whom happy birthday is said, but it's over a very long stretch of years. Maybe you'll remember some of them. Mary Rand, 85, born on February the 10th, 1940. British athlete who won gold in the long jump in 1964 Olympics in Tokyo. She also won silver in the pentathlon and bronze in the 4x100 relay at the same games. In a change of sport, Greg Norman, who's now 70, born on February the 10th, 1955, former Australian world number 1 golfer who twice won the Open Championship. Known as the Great White Shark, he topped the rankings for 331 weeks. And then really back in time, someone born in 1893, Bill Tilden, the first American to win the Wimbledon men's singles title in 1920, was born. He successfully defended his crown the following year, claiming a third title at Wimbledon in 1930 and also won 7 US Opens. Wonder if any of the listeners can remember Bill Tilden. Then we move forward to 2007. English rugby union star Johnny Wilkinson became an all-time leading point scorer in the 5 Nations after scoring a third-minute penalty, which is pictured beside the wee article here, scoring a third-minute penalty during the Italy at Twickenham, against Italy at Twickenham in a 27 win. Finally, from 2008, Dwayne Chambers returned from a drugs ban to win the 60-metre final at the World Indoor Trials in Sheffield, meaning UK Athletics had to select him to run in Valencia, where he won a silver medal.
Rail plans welcomed, an unattributed article. Linlithgow MSP Fiona Hislop has welcomed the ScotRail announcement that there will be an expansion of its FlexiPass product to include more routes across Scotland Railway. This expansion will benefit Bathgate residents, meaning that with a FlexiPass ticket, passengers will be able to make 12 journeys for the price of 10 and are valid over a 60-day period. The FlexiPass price per return from Bathgate to Edinburgh will be £8.32, and for Bathgate to Glasgow it will be £13.32. Fiona said, "I am glad to see that ScotRail have put the feedback they received from their customers into action. Many of my constituents commute in and out of West Lothian, and it's vital to our environment that our rail services are affordable in order to encourage commuters to choose rail travel for their work, education and leisure."
And this next article is by Michael Pringle, and it's by-election candidates confirmed. Voters in next month's Broxburn, Uphall and Winchborough ward by-elections will have a choice of 7 candidates. The vote will take place in West Lothian ward on Thursday, March the 13th. A by-election is to be held in West Lothian in March this year, following the retirement of Councillor Diane Calder. The candidates are, in alphabetical order, Frank Anderson, Alapa Party, June Andrews, Scottish Labour Party, Mike Carlin, Scottish National Party, Chris Cotter, Scottish Greens, Oliver Thomas Ferrario, Scottish Liberal Democrats, David McLennan, Reform UK, and Marnie Taylor, Scottish Conservatives. Polling places will be situated at Decmont Memorial Hall, Ecclesmacken Hall, Uphall Community Centre, Uphall South Parish Church Hall, Kirkhall Primary, Strathbrook Partnership Centre, Broxburn Primary, Broxburn Sports Centre, Winchborough Primary and Winchborough Community Centre.
Well, that brings us to the end of the news from the Courier this week. I'd just like to read again the announcement about the annual general meeting of Boomerang, the talking newspaper, that will be held on Saturday the 8th of March 2025. It will be at 11 o'clock till approximately 1 o'clock at St Joseph's Church Centre, Rayburn Crescent, Whitburn, EH47 8HQ, and you're cordially invited to come along. After the business part of the meeting is over, refreshments will be served. Please let Hella Smart know if you can attend by telephoning 07707 830 634, or you can put a note in your next wallet and return it to the studio. Also, if you need transport, let Heather know and we can try to arrange this if possible. So that now brings us to the end of Boomerang for tonight and the end of the recording. So it's goodbye from members of the team, from Paul and from George.
And good night from Linda.
And it's good night from Steve.